Hi there, fellow book readers. So today we are going to be reading chapter 2 of the Cat That Ate My Gymsuit. So we're going to hope that our main character here, Marcy Lewis, gains a little bit of confidence here because she was a Debbie Downer in the first chapter. I'm not really feeling very confident about that. But again, I'm reading this for the very first time with you guys, so I hope you enjoy. And if you did not look back at the last video, where was our introduction to chapter 1, where Miss Marcy Lewis, cat ate her gymsuit. All right, here we go. Celeste Sanders was the first to spread the news. Hey, we got a new English teacher. A real one, not a sub. First period class says she looks like a kid. A new one. Let's walk in backwards. Everyone give a wrong name. Let's show her who's boss. Everybody rushed down the halls and into class. Some of the guys started to make and throw paper airplanes. Alan Smith played Clementine on his harmonica. Okay, I'm sorry. Who brings a harmonica in the 9th grade? And if anyone knows what Clementine is song-wise, I'd love for you to share it with me. Thanks. All right, continuing. He'd learned it from the instructions on a Good and Plenty box. Man, I remember those. They tasted terrible. Jim Heston played the Good and Plenty box, and Ted Martin played a comb. There was applause and cheering after the performance. At 1:15, the coughing started. A few kids didn't do anything, but I did. I really didn't like what was happening, but if you're a blimp with fears and impending acne, you go along with the crowd. Miss Finney just sat there. She was young and wore a long denim skirt, a turtleneck jersey, and had on weird jewelry. Giant earrings that hung down her shoulders and a macrame necklace. She didn't smile or yell or cry or read a paper or do any of the things that teachers normally do when a class gets out of hand. She just sat there and looked at everybody. Finally, it got quiet. Everyone started to squirm. It was really creepy after a while. Okay, give her a chance, someone muttered. We all looked around to see who was talking. It was Joel Anderson, the smartest kid in the class. When almost everybody else would be fooling around, he would sit reading a book, just like us. Some of the kids thought he was a little weird, but everybody usually listened to him. He put his book down, looked at Ms. Finney, and said, "Are you going to teach us anything?" Somebody giggled. The class got very quiet. I looked at Joel and thought how brave and smart and cute he was. We'd been in the same classes since kindergarten, but I hadn't said more to him than, "Hi," and "What's the homework assignment?" I didn't like to embarrass anyone by having them be seen talking to me. God, this girl has no self-esteem. Okay. Well, Miss Finney stood up, looked at the class, smiled, turned to the blackboard, picked up a piece of chalk, and wrote, "Ms. Barbara Finney." Turning around again, she smiled and said, "That's my name. I'm your new English teacher, and I hope this year is going to be a good one for all of us." I thought about that. First of all, she'd written Ms. Was she just trying to be sharp, or was she really into it? And she'd written her first name. Teachers never do that. They never admit to having first names. They're always Miss or Mr. or Mrs., hardly ever Ms., and never with first names. It's supposed to be a big mystery. Like, do teachers really have to go to the bathroom or do anything but teach and go to meetings? Then she spoke again. I decided to be an English teacher because I care about people communicating with people. That's why I'm here. I want to do it and help you all do it too as effectively as possible. A poet named Theodore Rothke, anyone know who that is? I said that wrong, I know that. Once said, "Those who are willing to be vulnerable move among mysteries." Please, let's try to move among mysteries together. The class looked at her and at one another. Alan Smith laughed and said, "What is this going to be, a class of detectives?" Miss Finney looked at him without smiling. but she didn't yell either. I know that this may all seem a little strange to you now. Maybe it won't work, but let's try. Take out a piece of paper, and for the rest of the period, think about your communication and write about what it means to you. We all took out paper. I started at mine and then snuck looks at Ms. Finney. She was young and pretty and seemed nice. She sounded smart. She was different, but I wasn't sure how, and I didn't know if I could trust her. I mean, she was a teacher and an adult. During one of my looks, she stared right at me and smiled. I lowered my head and pretended to be writing. Dumb teacher. Who does she think she was? What does a blimp know about communication? How could she know what it feels like to be so fat and ugly that you're ashamed to get into a gym suit or talk to skinny people? Who wants to say, "This is my friend, the blimp"? Well, class was over and I still hadn't written anything. I started at my paper again and began. Oh, this is her handwriting, everybody. Should do a little note too. So let's see. Communication is, oh gosh, she's spelling this backwards. Noe Takanamak. I'm going to show you that one more time. So it says, yeah, I don't know if you can pronounce that, but yeah, she spelled it backwards. For the rest of the year, I want to improve my handwriting so that I can write legible letters to the student council suggestion box. Marcy Lewis. And again, I'm going to show you this. She drew a picture of herself as a fat looking gnome. I'm not quite sure. And also to my people that are born now or just being born now, that's called cursive. So you guys might not be able to read this, but yeah, that's definitely cursive, and I really hope they bring that back in schools. So, okay, back to the chapter 2. The bell rang. Grabbing my books, I rushed up to the front and put my paper face down on the desk. No one else was going to see what I wrote or drew. Going to gym class, I overheard some of the kids talking about Miss Finney. She seems okay. Weird. I like her. She's a creep, like the rest of them. In the locker room, all the girls rushed to get dressed, except for me. I sat on a bench. Nancy came over and said, "Marcy, not again. You'll flunk." Well, I just sat there, trying to change into a gym suit while hiding my mini bra and fat body. Would have been a gymnastic feat in itself. Once the class started, I walked up to the gym teacher, Schmidt. "All right, Lewis, what is it this time?" The cat ate my gymsuit." She shook her head, frowned, and wrote another 0 in her marking book. I sat down to watch my 80 millionth volleyball game. And the end. That's the end of chapter 2. So everybody, thank you so much. Let me know your comments and thoughts about how our heroine here, Marcy Lewis, is just out here living her worst life. So, all right. Have a good one, you guys. See you back for chapter 3. Bye.